kick right in front of the goal, and it's in.
Second, cuts to his corner, take the shot, he scores!
Welcome, volleyball fans. We're here at Peters Township High School, where tonight your Indians take on the Baldwin Lady Highlanders. Tonight we have the pleasure of welcoming Celine Blonde. Welcome, Celine.
Hello.
Celine is a senior outside hitter, defensive specialist for the team. We have a few questions for you before tonight's match. First question is, what's the strategy to win tonight's match against a tough Baldwin team?
Well, I think our defense really has to step up and kind of work around their best hitters. And I think once we do that, I think that we'll be soaring.
Excellent. And now, what are the goals for the team this season?
I would say pick up like our energy, I would say, so we can make it into the playoffs. That's one of our big struggles, I think. And once we do that, I think that we'll come together more as a team and do better.
Perfect. Sounds great. And now another question for you. As a defensive specialist, what's it feel like making that diving save and getting that perfect pass to the setter?
It's indescribable. It's pretty amazing. It's like after you make the dig, you look up and you're like, wow, I just did that.
And now on the
I'm
other
amazed.
side of that, since you're an outside hitter,
Yes.
what's it feel like getting that perfect set and just pounding the ball into the floor?
It's the best because no one expects it from me. I love it.
That's awesome, Celine. Well, good luck with tonight's match, and thank you.
Thank you so much.
Number 17, Sarah Campbell. And number
And welcome back again, volleyball fans. Your Indians challenging the Highlanders this evening. This is a best-of-5 match. First 4 sets of 25, win by 2. Fifth and final set is 15, win by 2. Tonight we welcome Mr. Steve Campbell. Welcome, Steve.
Oh, thank you very much, Jeff. It's a pleasure to be here as always on a Thursday night for a great night of volleyball.
First kill this evening for Peters, Lauren Valentic. On the assist by Emmy Pluskina. Jump float serve short by Pluskina. Tipped over, and there's a big hit right off the hands of Crookshank.
That's one of the toughest spots in volleyball to try to play the ball when it's coming right at your face like that. The only thing you can really do is put your hands up and hope you can pop it up in the air and have one of your teammates pick the ball up for you.
Short serve right down the middle. Blonde has it. Middle to Valentic. Picked up by Baldwin. There's a deep roll. Crookshank. Pluskina. Perfect outside set to Tassone for the kill.
Nice solid hit.
All starts with a pass. Peters passing well early in set number 1. Back set on a slide off the block. Picked up by Tassone. Pluskina. Blonde rolls it deep, and that ball is out.
Just need a little bit more rotation on that ball, and it would have dropped in.
So our score is 2-2 early here in set number 1. That hit is picked up by Baldwin. Outside set. Rolled right into the Baldwin player for 4 hits. That is illegal in any country.
Yes, it is.
Crookshank back to serve. Deep serve by Crookshank. Perfect pass by the Highlanders. Off the block. Pluskina. Crookshank puts it out for Blonde. Blonde gets the big kill.
You know, it's funny, a lot of people, when they see somebody out of system where the ball goes to the setter first, a lot of times in the old days you used to pass it over to the right side hitter to set. Now they pass it over to the libero so that the libero can pass the ball somewhere where somebody can get a hit. And that was a big solid hit right there by Baldwin.
Big booming hit by number 14, Anna Balo, a junior for Baldwin. Indians lead by 1, set number 1. Big jump serve, out of bounds by about 3 feet.
Those are the keys to the game. You got to try to avoid making errors that are unforced. Things like service errors or hitting the ball out of the court. I mean, you got 900 square feet to work with, 30 by 30. Got to keep the ball in.
Herpy back to serve. Herpy steps in to set as well. Nice float serve by Herpy. Trouble on the Highlander side. Big hit attempt coming out of the back row into the net. Another point for the Indians. Herpy again. Again, trouble on the Highlander side. And that ball is rolled deep by about 3 feet. Indians racking up the points right now, have a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, the Indians are really starting off strong. A lot of times this year they've been kind of slow to start, where they have to fight their way back to get the wins. But this match here, they're on top quick.
That was an overpass there and a kill attempt by the Indians. Looks like the ball was out of bounds. Called in by the line judge, called out by the second referee. That's a gentleman down below the net. Jump float down the line. Blonde, perfect pass to Herpy. Bump sets it to Tassone. Tassone, big hit out of the back row, picked up by Baldwin. That's a nice cross-court hit. That's almost inside the 10-foot line there.
Yeah, it was a solid hit by Baldwin. One of the things that you notice as you're watching Peters Township play this year that we haven't seen in previous years is there's a lot more backcourt attacks that we're running.
Perfect pass, outside set, and picked up by Baldwin. Again, cross court. Great save by Crookshank, sent over by Keene. Middle set, and that one's almost straight down. Indians' lead is back to only 1 here in set number 1. Jump float down the line to Blonde. Herpy back to Blonde. Picked up by the Highlanders. Another middle set. And their middle hitter tonight, Steve, unchallenged so far.
Yeah, she's really controlling the tempo of the game. It's amazing to see how quickly the score can change. Now we're all tied up again, where we were up by 4 points.
And that's an overpass right off Herpy. Point for Baldwin. They take the lead by 1 point here in set number 1. Tassone rolls it over, picked up by the Highlanders. And that's a double contact. That ball spinning every which way.
Yeah, there's a lot of spin on that ball. It was a good call by the referee.
Nice float serve by Blonde. Middle set. Again, Baldwin's middle hitter attacking the ball, getting the kill.
They're just hitting the ball really flat so that it's not getting down to the hands of the defenders in the back court. Everything's up near their chest and their throat area.
It's an overpass. Serve receive error on the Indians. And there's a big mental and communication error on Baldwin's side.
That was definitely a communication issue because the ball was up in the air, and it looked like number 1 and I believe it was number 7. They both were running at the ball, and they both looked and saw each other and thought the other one was going to get it.
Yates serving again. Deep serve by Yates. All tied up at 9 apiece, set number 1. And there's no contact there. That's 4 hits on the Highlanders side.
That's why you have the referee up top there so they can see that it hit the tape and it didn't hit the hands.
Yates again goes deep with it. Picked up by Baldwin's libero. Right to Herpy. To Yates. To Blonde. Blonde rolls it down the middle. Middle set off the block. Picked up by Tassone. To Herpy. Again down the middle by Blonde. Into the block. And that ball drops down. Point for Baldwin.
This battle is neck and neck, as I kind of thought it was going to be. Baldwin's a very strong team. Peters Township's a strong team as well. We are going to see good games tonight.
Scores tied 10 apiece. Tassone, big hit. That ball is out by inches. Looks like she caught that ball a little bit behind her, Steve.
Yeah, a little bit. It just didn't have a lot of topspin on it. When you're attacking the ball, you want to try to put a lot of spin on the ball, try to drop it down into the court.
And that set is set outside the antenna. That's considered out of bounds. Baldwin leading by 2. Yates, perfect pass to Herpy. And looks like that set just wasn't high enough for Valentic.
Yeah, that's kind of been a theme all season. Valentic is very tall, and you really need to set her just a little bit higher so she can really put a swing on the ball. Otherwise, you just kind of have to push it and dump it and move it around that way.
Baldwin picks it up, cross court, right to Yates, to Herpy, to Jakovic, picked up by Baldwin again. Free ball coming over. That's to Blonde. Herpy. Out to Tassone, and Tassone looks like that ball hit the antenna. That's what they're looking at.
Apparently they called it in.
We'll take it. Point for Peters.
Yeah, the Baldwin coach had a different opinion of that. He thought the ball was out, but the line judge called it in.
Pluskina back to serve. Indians down by 2. And we're about halfway through set number 1. Deep serve by Pluskina. Perfect pass by Baldwin. Outside set. Into the net. Point for Peters.
Short serve there.
That's rolled right to Tassone, and Pluskina sends it over on 2. That's a roll. Again, Tassone has it. Pluskina back to Tassone, who tries to take it short. That goes into the middle of the net.
Yeah, that's a tough situation. Tassone was pinched in playing the first ball, and then she had to try to swing out. Set might have been better to set back, but everybody was over there, and there was nobody over where Tassone was.
Indians down by 2. Here's Tassone. Plaskina back to Tassone. Tassone goes right down the line. Looks a little bit of net there on Baldwin's side. No call made. That ball's right down the middle to Blonde. Plaskina to Valentic, who takes that ball and puts it on the floor.
That's a big hit. That's the difference between setting the ball a little bit too low and setting the ball just right. And actually, that ball was still even just a little bit on the low side. It could have gone up another 6 inches, and she'd have really pounded it.
Tassone back to serve. Indians down by only 1. Set number 1. Perfect pass by the Highlanders. Middle set. And there's an answer from Baldwin.
That was a well-run play.
Indians down by 2 again. Serves right down the middle. Yates shanks it a little bit. Saved by Blonde. And just not enough oomph.
They say close but no cigar. Baldwin with a nice knuckle serve.
Again, Indians having trouble with the serve receive. Baldwin taking advantage of it. Tassone with the perfect pass to Plaskina. And dinked by Valentic. That's a roll. Blonde. Plaskina. Back to Willott, who gets the kill, hitting out of the right side.
Really good hit. Good decision making by Plaskina.
Keene steps into the front row to hit. Crookshank into the back row to serve. Crookshank, our libero tonight, wearing the red-colored jersey instead of the white jersey. In a second, we'll explain what that means. Tassone has it. Plaskina. And Keene, a little bit of mistiming there. Steve, you want to touch on what the red jersey designates for Peters?
The red jersey is a designation for libero. Libero is a defensive specialist and passing specialist. They're allowed to play only in the back row. They're not allowed to attack the ball. And they can move into any position in the back row at will. So that their going in and out of the game doesn't get counted toward the substitutions that are that you can use in a set.
Great rally going on here. Back and forth we go. Free ball coming over. Tassone has it. Plaskina tracks it down. Blonde sends it cross court. Trouble on the Highlander side. Free ball coming back over to Peter's side. Back and forth we go. There's Tassone. Plaskina to Blonde. Blonde off the block and down for the kill.
That's exactly the way it's supposed to work. Whenever you hear the word free ball, that means on the third ball it's being passed over to the other side. And that's an opportunity for a good pass where you can run a play and should be a good opportunity for you to earn a point.
Herpy steps in to serve. Into the front row, Jakovic steps in to hit. Baldwin having a little trouble here. Right down the middle, Tassone has it. To Herpy, Jakovic right into the block of Baldwin.
That was a well-sealed block by Baldwin. Middle hitter came right in over to the outside, sealed the block. There was nowhere for her to go.
Indians down by 3. Set number 1. Back set Blonde. Blonde getting all sorts of kills this evening. Blonde, a senior here at Peters. We interviewed her right before the match. She talked about what the strategy is to win tonight's match, the goals for the team this season, and then what it feels like as an outside hitter and a defensive specialist to make great plays. That served out by Blonde.
It's like a little coaching happening over on the Baldwin side, talking to the server.
Right down the middle. Trouble on the Indian side, and there's an ace for Baldwin.
Tell you what, passing is tough. If you don't pass, you're not going to be able to run an offense. It's really hard to win games if you're not passing to the setter.
And there's the first timeout called here in set number 1 by head coach Ashley Green. We'll be right back. And we're back from the first timeout called by the Indians. Indians down by 4. Set number 1. The score is 20-16. Baldwin continues to serve. Blonde, perfect pass to Herpy. Out to Tassone, and Tassone gets the kill. Great timeout call by head coach Green.
I'll tell you what, for a sophomore, Tassone just hits the ball a ton. She's got so much experience on the court. She's been playing for years, but it really shows.
Yates serving right down the middle. Perfect pass by Baldwin. Their setter didn't even have to move there. That's cross court. Looks like that ball's caught in. Point for Baldwin.
That was a huge angle shot. I never in a million years would have thought she'd have been able to put it over in that spot. And it's the only area that wasn't covered on the court.
Deep serve out by about 3 feet. Indians down by 3. We're deep into set number 1. 21-18 is our score.
One of the last things you want to do is when you get a big hit like that, serve the ball out. You need to pound it if you're planning on winning the game.
Pluskina steps in to serve and set. Willott stepped into the front row to hit. Deep jump float by Pluskina, picked up nicely by the Highlanders. Big booming hit cross court. That ball is out of bounds. Indians down by 2.
Clawing our way back into the match here.
Pluskina again. Overpass. Pluskina sends it over on 2. And there's Baldwin's middle again getting the kill.
Number 7 for Baldwin, Allison Murray. She's really been dominating the middle right now.
Indians down by 3. Tassone,
pass.
perfect pass. Pluskina sent over by Valentic, picked up by Baldwin. Free ball coming over into the block of Valentic and back down onto the floor. Short serve down the middle. Another overpass. Looks like Valentic wasn't ready for that one.
Yeah, it was almost like she was just kind of standing there and didn't realize the ball was going to be over, and it was too late.
2 more points, and Baldwin takes this first set. There's Yates. That's an overpass. And Baldwin's middle hitter again makes him pay for that one.
That's one of them. They should be asking the middle hitter over there whether or not she wants it a little bit higher, a little bit more to the left, because she just that pass was right to her.
And that's the second and final timeout called by head coach Ashley Green for the Indians. We'll be right back. And we're back from the second and final timeout called by Peters. Serves right down the middle, Yates. Pluskina outside to Blonde. Blonde goes cross court with it. Nice pickup by the Highlanders. Picked up by Tassone to Blonde. Pluskina rolls it down the line. Into the block of Valentic and Willott.
That was a nice block.
Highlanders just need a side out here, and they'll win the set. Cruikshank serving deep. Perfect pass by Baldwin. Middle set. And Pluskina has it to Blonde. And Cruikshank sends it over on 3. Another middle set. And there it is. The 25th and final point for Baldwin. Baldwin wins set number 1, 25-21. Steve, any final comments about set number 1?
I think the key is Peters Township needs to start passing a little bit better so that they can run their offense and control the match. Right now, the first set was really controlled by Baldwin all the way through.
And so as we look towards set number 2, we'll take a little break here, and we will be right back for the start of set number 2. Much easier after all that.
See you when you close your eyes. Maybe one day you'll understand why everything you touch you're nice. But you only need the light and turn low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love it when you let it go. Only know when you can have when you feel love. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love it when you let it go. Staring at the ceiling when you saw. Same old empty feeling in your heart. Stuck on the stone when it goes so fast. Come to see you when you fall asleep, but never to touch and never to keep. Cause you love it too much and you die too deep. When you only need the light and it's going low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love it when you let go. Only know you can hide when you're feeling low. Only hit the road when you're missing home. Only know you love it when you let it go. And you let it go. And you let it go. When you let it go. When you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love when you let it go. Only know you can hide when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love it when you let it go. You only miss the sun. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love it when you let it go. Only know you can hide when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love it when you let it go. When you let it go. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Katie Awkward.
Here at Peters. Looks like he has a long and productive career ahead of him.
Another service error by Peters Township. Ties the score up.
Deep serve. Herpy. Blonde. To Sohn. Rolls it deep. Perfect pass. And blocked again by Valentic. Second block so far by Valentic.
That's it. When Valentic's on, man, she's like the Great Wall. you get hit the ball 10 feet over the net just to be able to get over her.
Pluskina serving. Jump float serve. Free ball coming over. Off the tape. Picked up by Crookshank. To Pluskina. Rolled cross court by Balot. Outside set. Off the block and out of bounds. Kill for Baldwin. Looks like Baldwin's running a few timing plays. Those are those sets that are a bit lower, Steve.
Yeah, they are. They're running some timing plays. They're trying to keep Peters Township off balance. And right now they've been doing a pretty good job of it.
Speaking of timing plays, there's one from Peters, picked up by Baldwin. That's to Blonde. Poskina, another timing play right to Valentic for the kill.
Yeah, the key to those timing plays takes a lot of practice. Hitter actually needs to know where the ball is going to be going and be there before the ball even leaves the setter's hands.
Perfect pass by Baldwin, and that's an overpass, and that's a double contact called on Baldwin.
I don't think it was that bad. I'll tell you what's interesting about Peters Township's team this year is there are a lot of underclassmen. You've got a lot of sophomores, freshmen, juniors. There's only 5 seniors on the team this year, but the regular rotation has a lot of freshmen and sophomores playing.
It's an outside set for Baldwin, and Baldwin gets the kill. Indians lead by 1, 4-3 early here in set number 2. And Pluskina sends it over on 2. Picked up by Tassone to Pluskina. To Blonde into the block. Back to Baldwin's side. Free ball coming over. Blonde, Pluskina, back set, and Willott into the net. Tassone, Pluskina, blocked.
Nice
Picked up by
up.
Tassone. Free ball coming over by Blonde. Picked up by Baldwin. Outside set. Right into the block. Picked up by Baldwin and back down onto the floor.
Number 14 for Baldwin, man, she came in hot. She was really looking to pond that ball, and Valentic was just there. Just stopped it.
Yates back to serve. Indians lead by 1. Right down the middle. Trouble on the Highlander side. That's Tassone to Yates to Blonde. Blonde rolls it deep out of bounds by about 5 feet.
Got 3 passers back for Peters Township.
And there's a football called on Baldwin. You don't see that very often.
No, you don't. She got a little antsy and was right on the line, took that step onto the line, and you're not allowed to do that.
Herpy steps in to serve. Jakovic in to hit. Herpy will also be the setter here for the Indians. Perfect pass. Bump set, overpass, and Jakovic gets the kill. Indians lead by 2, set number 2.
She was up pretty high. I think she was up by her elbows, top of the tape.
Another serve by Herpy. Back set, dinks short, picked up nicely by Peters. Free ball coming over. And that's called underneath across that center line on the Indian side.
That's such a shame. Herpy picked the ball up, probably just got a foot, just a little bit over the line, and Keene was there and put the ball over. I thought we were going to keep playing.
Jump float down the middle. Blonde. Herpy. Back to Blonde. Picked up by Baldwin. No, that counts as a kill for Blonde. It needs lead back up to 2. Blonde back to serve. Jump float by Blonde down the middle. Picked up nicely by the Highlanders. Middle set. Picked up by Herpy. Off the middle drape. Sent over by Blonde. Middle set. Off the block. Back onto the Baldwin side. And that's cross court for the kill.
Wow, that was some good coverage.
That net was bouncing a little bit, so I wouldn't be surprised if somebody got their finger stuck in the net. No call made there.
Maybe a little bit, but you know, the key, one of the things that we were always told when we were playing, you play the game, let the refs call the penalties. If you touch the net, it's their job to call it.
That was a nice back set to Jakovic, who got the kill. Indians lead by 2. Malenik steps into the front row. Crookshank back to serve. Deep serve right to the libero for Baldwin. And that ball sails out of bounds. Another point for the Indians.
Yeah, that's one of the things about the libero. Usually the libero is one of the best passers on the team. Ideally, you don't necessarily want to serve to the person with a different colored jersey on.
Looks like that net needed to be a little bit tightened better on that bottom tape. Slid right off there.
Yeah, it just hit and dropped straight down. Usually when the ball hits the lower part of the net, it flies back a little bit. Only when it's at the top of the tape does it run down the net.
Juan sends it over on 3. Baldwin has it. Middle set, dink short, and right down into the number 4 spot on the court.
For those of you who don't know, the court's broken into 6 different categories. Back where the server is serving, usually the back right-hand side is number 1. Number 2 would be up at the net. Number 3 would be the middle. Number 4 would be the outside on the left side of the net. Number 5 would be behind that. And number 6 is middle back.
And that ball sails out of bounds right over that number 2 zone, as you were talking about.
And the other reason it's broken into those areas is because the coaches can then talk to the server if they see a weakness or an area that they want them to serve to. And they can tell them serve to 1, 2, 3, or 4. Just to try to get a little bit of competitive advantage.
And that's off the block and out of bounds. And now the Highlanders lead by 1 here in set number 2. Indians need to stop the momentum here. And that's out of bounds. Indians get the ball.
It's just what they needed. It looks like we're going to have a substitution here.
Willott steps in into the front row. Pluskina steps into the back row to serve and set. Scores all tied, 11-11, set number 2. Pluskina jump float down the middle. Nice pass by Baldwin. Back set, right down the line off Crookshank's hands and down for the kill.
Been a lot of shots to that dead zone of the body, right above the stomach, below the head, where you can't really get your hands in to put that ball up.
Little handcuff there, I guess,
Yeah.
what you'd call it. Deep serve, that's out of bounds. That's the second missed serve back to back. One of the golden rules of serving in volleyball, never miss after your teammate misses.
That's the only time in the game where you have total control over the ball as a serve. There's no reason to ever get a ball out.
That was a great roll by Baldwin right there. High spin velocity right off the hands of Pluskina. Indians down by 1, set number 2. It's right down the middle. Crookshank, perfect pass. And another big kill by Atlantic. All started with that perfect pass, Steve.
It always comes down to a pass. You gotta get a pass if you're going to run an offense. And if you're going to do anything sophisticated, you must have good passing.
Yates back to serve. Keene stepped into the front row to hit right down the middle. Perfect pass by Baldwin. Outside set. Rolled over the block. Picked up by Tassone. Pluskina. Blonde down the line. Out by about a foot.
It's one of the interesting things to point out when you're talking about serving. Back in the 90s, you were only allowed to serve on the right-hand side of the backcourt. Now, the whole baseline, the whole back of the court there, you can go anywhere you want to serve.
That's a good point. And they didn't used to allow jump serves. They didn't used to allow the let serves where the ball hits the top of the tape and rolls over. Those were all illegal.
Yeah, but that was back before rally scoring, where you actually had to serve in order to get the point.
Exactly. Blocked by the Indians. That ball's hit out of bounds. Point for the Indians. They lead by 1. Now we're halfway through, a little more than halfway through set number 2.
I've heard rumor that they're actually going to be changing that serve, that if it hits the net, it's a reserve, like tennis.
That's picked up by the Indians. Free ball going deep. Into the net and down. Yeah, they actually made that change on the AVP tour. That's the Beach Volleyball Professional Tour. There's they made that change late in the game. It's what's called a freeze, and then you can't have a let serve on that final on the final point. They make them do it again. Then if they do it again, if it's another let serve, it's a side out, and it goes to the other team. So they've already started doing that outdoors. We'll see when it happens indoors. Jump float right down, right to Celine Blonde. Tassone rolls it deep out of bounds by about 8 feet. Right to Blonde again. Overpass. And Baldwin makes him pay for that one. Looks like they're picking on Blonde a little bit.
Well, I think that'll be all right. She's a pretty solid player. I'm sure she welcomes the opportunity.
This time it's Yates to Herpy. And Jakovic sends it over on 3. Middle set off the block of the Indians. And that ball's down. No call made there. Fans screaming that it was 4 hits on Baldwin's side. They think that it didn't touch the Peters player, but I think it did.
The only thing I can say is she was 3 feet away from the action there if she didn't see it.
And there you go. That's Karma coming right back with that service error on the Highlanders side. The Indians get it right back.
The volleyball gods have spoken.
That's off the block. That's over and down. Great save by Blonde, I think it was. That counts as a kill. Jump float by Blonde right down the middle. Outside set. Off the block and down for the kill.
That was a function of not sealing the block. The ball went right between Jakovic and Keene there. And if they'd have been sealed up, ball would have been on the other side of the net.
Indians down by 1. Now we're deep into set number 2. Yates, Tassone, and Blonde rolls it into the net.
I'll show you at the end of the set.
And that hits into the net by Jakovic. Indians down by 3 now. And there's the first timeout called by head coach Ashley Green for the Indians. Indians down by 3, 21-18. We'll be right back. And we're back from the first timeout called by head coach Ashley Green. Indians down by 3 to serve down the middle to Yates. Trouble on the Indian side. Tassone rolls it over on 3, picked up by Baldwin. Outside set. Cross court, picked up by Yates. To Herpy. To Blonde. Great save by the Highlanders. And unfortunately, the third hit goes under the net. The Indians get the point.
Blonde just put it in a spot that was impossible for them to get to. And they managed to pick the ball up, but it was just out of range of being able to go over the net for Baldwin.
Crookshank back to serve. Indians down by 2, deep into set number 2. There's a back set. Off the block of Valentic. Looks like she was a little bit late there. Tried to push her hands over.
Well, that's it. I mean, but one of the big things you got to do is you got to reach over and grab at the ball. Try to get your hands over onto the other side of the net, and her hands were just straight up in the air, so it was just bouncing off a telephone pole.
Great serve by Baldwin. That ball just plummeted to the floor, and there's another kill right to that number 4 zone on the left side of the net. Again, that ball takes a nosedive. Middle set and kill by Valentic.
It's definitely a fight going on right now. It's close. Willett and Plaskina are entering the game now.
Plaskina back to serve and set. A great save by Crookshank to Plaskina. Tassone rolls it over, picked up by the Highlanders. Outside set, around the block, out of bounds. Indians down by 2, set number 2. Scores 23-21.
This is a true test of a team's character right now. You're down by 2 points. You're almost at the end of the set. You got to see how well you can muscle your way through. Don't make any errors. And take the opportunity.
And that ball is called down by our first referee this evening. Crookshank tries to make a diving save. And now Baldwin's looking at set point here in set number 2. They lead 24-21. And that serves out of bounds again. One of those golden rules of serving. Never miss a serve on set point.
It's amazing how momentum can change quickly, and missed serves usually drop the momentum. So we'll see how everybody recovers here. Nice op.
Saved
Very
by the
nice.
Indians. That ball's coming back over. And that ball's down on the floor. Baldwin wins set number 2, 25-22. Steve, any comments about set number 2?
Yeah, overall, I mean, it was the same as set number 1. They need to pass the ball so that they can run the offense and control the tempo of the game. And really what's happening is there are sparks of greatness and some really good things that are happening. But Baldwin's a well-coached team, and they're playing well.
And with 2.5 minutes left before the start of set number 3, we'll be right back. And we're back, volleyball fans, at the start of set number 3. The Indians lost set number 1, 25-21. They came back a little bit in set number 2, but lost that also 25-22. Indians struggling a little bit on the passing, whereas Baldwin passing well. Defense is looking really good. Their servers are getting some scoring as well, and their hitters are pounding the ball. There's a nice pass by Crookshank back to Blonde, and Blonde gets the kill, just like we needed.
Jumping up on top. That's just what they need to do. Willett enters the game.
Pluskina back to serve and set. Trouble on the Highlanders side. Cross court, Pluskina. Crookshank. Back to Pluskina. Rolls it deep. Picked up by Baldwin. Outside set. Off the block, out of bounds. Point for Baldwin. 1-1 is our score. Set number 3.
It's one of the keys when you're blocking. You have to extend like that, but then you get a sweep to the inside and angle those hands in. Otherwise, the ball just can bounce off and out of bounds, in which case, like you did here, Baldwin got the point.
Deep serve. Tassone. Pluskina back to Tassone. Goes down the court with it. Picked up by the Highlanders. And that ball sails out of bounds. Point for the Indians.
Little communication there about rotation for Peters Township.
Tassone goes deep with it. Picked up nicely by Baldwin. That's dinked short. Crookshank tries to make a diving save. Unfortunately, rolls right off her hands and down.
Now, that was really interesting. Crookshank, she looked up and she saw that the ball was going to be dumped. And she didn't want to commit to the inside because if she would have, they'd have pushed it over into the four zone. So she kind of was in no man's land there.
Lock gets the kill cross court. Peters gets the ball back. Yates goes deep with it. Highlanders have it. Off the top of the block, Tassone. Great save by Pluskina. Sent over by Yates. Outside set. And that's off Tassone's hands and down for the kill. Looks like that may have been going out of bounds.
Yeah, it would have been close.
Scores tied 3-3, set number 3. That ball sails out of bounds. Now the Highlanders are struggling a little bit with their serving.
Serving and passing are the keys to this game. You got to be able to serve and keep the ball in and try to put it in a position that the other team can't run their offense. And you got to be able to pass so that you can run yours.
Herpy into the back row to serve and set. And there's an ace for Herpy. And also Jakovic into the front row to hit, number 26. Herpy goes deep with it this time. Baldwin picks it up, middle set. To Tassone, Herpy, to Blonde, off the block and down again. Blonde gets that kill.
It's a big swing. Sometimes, you know, the key is you really just need to keep swinging. Try to avoid dumping and just swing as much as you can because you're going to bounce off of hands and you're going to score points.
Deep serve by Herpy. Indians lead by 3, set number 3. Tassone, Herpy to Blonde. Blonde goes cross court with it, picked up by the Highlanders. Picked up by Tassone to Herpy. The Blonde again. Another great save by the Highlanders, and this time middle set, big kill by Baldwin.
That was a well-run play by Baldwin.
Indians lead by 2, set number 3. They're down 2-0. If Baldwin wins this set, they win the match, and the evening is over. And that's a little bit of a hitting error on Baldwin's side. Looks like that set just wasn't high enough.
Again, that's where it comes to practice. Between the middle and the setter, there has to be a good relationship, and you have to know what the other person's going to be doing so you can be effective.
Blonde with the short jump float. Blonde with the save. Herpy. Tassone saves it. Outside set. Off the block. Off Yates' hands and out of bounds.
That was a tough situation right there. The ball was off the block, so you had to go get it. But a lot of times when you're in the backcourt, you're trying to progress forward to get to the ball. Trying to move backward is difficult.
And Jakovic with the kill. That's on a great pass by Tassone. And the assist by Herpy. Crookshank back to serve. Valentic stepped in the front row to hit. Indians lead by 3, set number 3. Overpass. And Herpy sends it over on 2. Middle set picked up by Herpy. To Blonde. Jakovic goes cross court with it. And that's out of bounds. Indians get the point.
It's just what they need. They need to continue to just push. Keep the momentum on their side, minimize their mistakes, and just keep going point for point.
Crookshank with the deep serve, picked up nicely by Baldwin. Outside set, around the block, Crookshank into the net, and that ball just drops down. Tassone tried to make a save on it. Point for Baldwin. Blonde, and that's out of bounds. An ace by Baldwin. Again, that libero for Baldwin, number 4. It's Mackenzie Mice. When she serves that ball, Steve, it looks like it just drops.
Oh, it does. She has a really nice knuckle serve. That ball, if you're actually watching the ball come at you, you can see it move anywhere from 1 to 3 feet left to right. So you have to constantly be adjusting when you're making your pass.
Great save by Blonde. Valentic. Valentic gets the kill. Herpy with the assist.
Valentic was hanging up there so long, it was almost like she was standing on a step stool, just waiting for it.
Polskina back to serve. Willott stepped into the front row to hit. Indians lead by 2, set number 3. Scores 10-8. Jump serve down the line by Peters, and there's a big block. Valentic and Willott.
Big blocks like that, those are momentum killers or for the other team. You need to constantly try to block as much as you can.
Polskina, another jump float serve down the line. Cross court picked up by Crookshank, and no one on Peters able to get to that one. This is where Peters needs to stop any type of momentum by Baldwin. They're up by 2, but this is sort of that place in the match or in the set when they need to watch out for errors. And there's a catch called on Baldwin.
Yeah, they called that lift, and that's really what needs to happen for Peters Township to win this game is they need to match point for point. If they can just march along, matching point for point, they're going to win.
Polskina has it. Blonde has it. Tassone rolls it down the line. Outside set. Cross court hit. Valentic saves it. Blonde gets it over on 3 and gets the kill.
There it is. That was a good roll shot.
Tassone service area into the net. Indians lead by 3, set number 3. We're about halfway through set number 3.
It's going to come down to a pass right now. They need to get the side out, get the serve back. That's the pass.
Crookshank, perfect pass. And that's a catch or double contact called. Not sure where that double contact went. That ball had no spin on it, Steve.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, usually they give you at least 1.5 rotations.
And there's a call made. That's a back row attack on Plaskina.
I thought she was going to get away with that one.
Thought so too. That ball was above the the tape a little bit when she hit it into the blocker on Baldwin's side. That's why the call was made. And that's a set into the block. That's down on the ground, 13-13. Set number 3.
That's how fast momentum can change in a game.
That 3-point lead turned into a tie.
Yeah.
Short serve, overpass by Crookshank, picked up by Baldwin. Outside set, picked up by Tassone. Plaskina to Blonde. Blonde, big hit, saved by Baldwin, and no. 4 hits on Baldwin. Keene steps into the front row. Indians lead by 1. Yates back to serve. Deep serve down the middle by Yates. That's an overpass. Keene has it. Point for the Indians.
Joe Yates is serving right now. She's one of the 5 seniors on the team. She's been playing volleyball at Peters Township for the last 4 years. From freshman
And that's
on.
unfortunate. Right off the tape. And rolls right on the ground in front of Willott. Indians lead by 1. Yates, Plaskina to Blonde. Blonde off the block and down. Blonde getting a lot of those kills right off the block of Baldwin.
Well, she does. I mean, what she does is she's got such a solid swing. She just muscles her way past the block over to the other side. And you can definitely get points that way.
Herpy steps in to serve and set. And Jakovic into the front row to hit for the Indians. Middle set. Picked up by Tassone off the net. And that ball goes under the net onto the Baldwin side. Point for Baldwin. Indians still lead by 1. They need to be aggressive here in the middle of this set, Steve. And there's a service there on Baldwin. That's very fortunate for the Indians.
That's what they need. They just need to match point for point here.
Jump float by Blonde right down the middle. Overpass. And Tassone and Keene have it.
That's
Indians.
It. You can actually start to see how Baldwin's starting to get a little flustered right now. And that's why they're calling a timeout.
There's timeout called. First timeout called by head coach Chris Kelly for the Highlanders. Indians lead by 3. Set number 3. We'll be right back. And we're back, folks, from the first timeout called by Baldwin in this match. This is set number 3. Blonde continues to serve. Perfect pass by Baldwin. And right around the block for Peters and down for the kill. It's a good timeout called by head coach Chris Kelly for Baldwin.
Yeah, I think so. He probably brought everybody in and said, listen, don't let the ball hit our side anymore. We're losing points.
It's a simple game, if you think about it like that. Well, they let the ball hit their side. That's a point for Peters.
They did.
Crookshank back to serve. Valentic stepped in the front row to hit. This is a great lineup for Peters with Valentic, Tassone, and Jakovic in the front row. Again, another unfortunate, unlucky hit for Peters. That rolls off the top of the tape and down. Indians lead by 2. Deep serve, Tassone. Herpy back to Tassone. Tassone off the top of the block, picked up by Baldwin. Free ball coming over. No, it's a hit, big hit. And that ball sails out of bounds for the kill. Indians lead is down to only 1 now in set number 3. It's 19-18.
Tell you what, this is a very, very close match right now.
critical point here for the Indians. They need to get it here, get it back. Baldwin with the slide off the block and down for the kill. Looks like Ashley Green may be thinking about a timeout right now.
I think she's gonna let it go at one more point. If they lose this point, she's gonna call timeout.
It's all tied up, 19 apiece. Valentic saved by Baldwin. Crookshank, Herpy, Cassone rolls it deep, picked up easily by Baldwin. Middle set, and there's a net violation called on the Indians. And here comes that timeout you were talking about, Steve.
No.
Maybe not.
She's letting it go.
Yes, there's that first timeout called by head coach Ashley Green. Indians down by 1 now, set number 3, 20-19. We'll be right back. And we're back from the first timeout called by head coach Ashley Green. Indians down by 1. Baldwin continues to serve. Cassone, perfect pass to Herpy. To Jakovic, picked up by Baldwin. Outside set. And into the block of Valentic and Jakovic. Indians tie it up 20 apiece.
It was a nice solid block. That was good timeout by Ashley Green just to kind of reset the team, slow the momentum down a little bit so that they can try to take control of the game.
Well, we have a moment here. Just want to say a special thanks again to Jamie Ogburn, freshman here at Peters, sang the national anthem at the beginning of the match and then had another song right after set number 1. Also thanks to Alex and Kate for providing audio and visual expertise this evening. Great save by Peters. And 4 hits called on the Highlanders.
This crowd is going crazy. I think they thought the ref wasn't going to call 4 hits. the whole bench erupted over in Peters Township.
Overpass. Free ball coming over. Cassone. Back to a lot. Cross court picked up by Baldwin. Outside set down the line and out of bounds. 21 apiece at set number 3.
This is coming down to the wire.
Make sure you check out ptct7.com for all the broadcast times for all the fall sports that are recorded here in Peters on Channel 7. And that ball's out of bounds.
Yeah.
Looks like Baldwin's playing a little tense right now.
They are. They're making mistakes that they shouldn't be making if they want to win. This opening the door for Peters Township.
Overpass, Valentic.
And another one.
And the kill.
Oh, she called a lift. The ref called a lift. Said she hit that ball. She took the ball from behind her head.
The ball never rested in her hand. That's a terrible call by the first referee. In my 40 years of playing, coaching, and reffing, that's one of the worst calls I've seen.
That was a bad
and there's
call.
a double contact or catch called on Baldwin. Karma again comes through. Indians lead 23-22. We are deep into set number 3. Indians need this set to stay in the match. Perfect pass. Back set. Dink short. And there is a violation called.
Net violation.
Looks like she was across that center line is what he was calling on her. And there's a timeout call by head coach Chris Kelly. Indians lead 24-22. Set number 3 will be right back. Go to set number 4. Pluskina back set to Willott. Willott rolls it short, picked up by Baldwin. Baldwin playing a little tense right now. Tassone, Pluskina, back to Tassone, who rolls it deep, picked up by Baldwin. Middle set, Yates, Pluskina, Blonde, off the block, picked up by Baldwin. Free ball coming over. Tassone, Pluskina, Blonde again, and there's the final point. Set number 3, Indians win 25-22 in set number 3. Steve, your thoughts about set number 3?
Yeah, you could see the difference in that game. They fought their way through. They minimized their mistakes. The passing was a lot better. And then when they got to the end, you could actually see Baldwin, the tensing. What they'd start to do is they'd start to hit the ball softer and even more gentle just to try not to make a mistake. Peters Township smelt the blood, and they were just swinging away, and that's why they won that set.
We have about 2.5 minutes before the start of set number 4. So we'll be right back. And we're back, volleyball fans, at the start of set number 4. Baldwin leads 2-1. Indians came back, won that set number 3. And there's a cross-court kill by Baldwin. First point, set number 4 to Baldwin.
We'll see how this match plays out. Good
Yates,
pass.
perfect pass, Plaskina. And that's 4
hits.
hits called on the Indians. Yates, Plaskina puts it up for Blonde. Blonde goes right down the middle. It's an overpass, almost.
Whoa! That's a good hit.
Herpy has it. Tassone sends it deep. Middle, off the block and down. And a quick 3-0 lead for the Highlanders.
That was really interesting. They ran a middle at the 10-foot line. The setter set the ball foot above the tape. Middle blocker hit the ball, but they were back by the 10-foot line.
Plaskina. Valentic tries to get the kill. Off the block, back onto the Highlanders side. Blonde, Plaskina. Tassone rolls it right into the hands of Baldwin. Off the top of the block to Blonde. Plaskina again to Herpy. Goes cross court with it, and Herpy gets the kill. Plaskina back to serve. Willott steps into the front row. Trouble on Baldwin's side. Picked up by Yates. Plaskina. And blocked back onto the Indian side. Outside set to Willott. Cross court. And there's a net violation called on the Indians.
Yeah, I believe they called it on number 11, Lauren Valentic. And you know, really one of the things you got to think about now, we're going into set 4. The average volleyball game, the attackers make approximately 300 jumps in a match. And so conditioning is really going to start to matter here.
And that ball's hit out of bounds by Tassone. Indians down by 4, set number 4. The Indians need to win this set in order to stay in the match. Tassone again with the attack. That ball's out of bounds.
Line judge called it in. Referees called it out.
What'd you think, Steve? I thought it was out.
I thought it was out as well.
Good call by the first referee. Correct call. Indians down 7-1, set number 4. Took a lot of the air out of the Indians right now.
Oof.
Deep serve. Yates having trouble with it. Blonde picks it up. Tassone sends it over. Free ball for Baldwin. Back set slide off the block of Tassone out of bounds.
That's so close. That's a matter of inches with your hands to get that ball in.
Indians down by 7 now. Tassone saves it. Blonde sends it over on 3. Outside set. Cross court, Yates. Plaskina. Tassone gets the kill. Tassone back to serve. Keene steps into the front row to hit.
That's the opportunity to make something happen.
She's got to serve it. Nope, she's doing a lineup check. Looks like one of the Indians players came in too soon.
Yeah, that's what it appears. Kind of looks like Kyle Keene went in for Joe Yates a little bit early.
Yeah, it looks like Yates is still in the back row. Keene did a substitution to step in.
She'd be in the 5 position. She may end up being stuck and might have to take one serve in the backcourt.
One rotation, that's right. One rotation.
But it's also going to cost.
No damage there.
No, he's letting it go.
They're letting it go back.
Letting him go back in. It is going to cost a substitution, though.
That's right. So Yates back into the back row. Indians serving. They're down 8-2. Tassone with the serve. Here we go. Right down the middle. Picked up nicely by Baldwin. Outside set again. Another timing play by Baldwin. Looked like almost an outside 3-ball, 13 if you will.
Yeah, it was nicely run.
Tassone, Poskina, one-hand set.
Oh, off her head.
Off her head. Baldwin almost gets the save.
Valente bounced that ball off of number 7's forehead.
Keene steps in now. Into her spot in the front row. Crookshank back to serve. Indians down by 6. And that ball is in.
That was a nice serve.
Right down the line, inside the antenna. Crookshank with the ace.
A lot of times when you see missed serves, it's because they're playing with that line, trying to make it look like the ball's going to be out of bounds.
Back set off the block of Keene. Picked up by Balot to Poskina. And that's another double contact called on Poskina.
You know, it's weird. It's not consistent. There are balls that aren't rotating at all. That ball did not make 1.5 rotations.
Steve, I've been a setter for 40 years. That ball had no rotation. That was not a double contact. That's another horrific call by our first referee this evening.
There's a little trading back there. Blonde just got hit in the head.
And that was in my humble opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, there was very little rotation on that ball.
That ball sails out of bounds. A little bit of karma there. Indians down by 6, set number 4. They're down 2-1 in this match. Herpy steps in to serve and set. Jakovic into the front row to hit. Herpy, nice float serve. Almost saved by Baldwin. Looks like the Baldwin player almost ran into the metal stair banister, whatever you want to call it.
I thought she was running up the stairs, and then the libero followed. I thought they were going to continue play up here in the stands.
And right down the middle for the kill. Baldwin gets it back. They lead by 6. Again, special thanks to Alex and Kate for their audio and visual expertise this evening. It's because of them we can record these games. When you get a chance, check out ptct7.com for the broadcast times. Channel 7 also has a YouTube channel, so all of the games, the home games, will be played on the YouTube channel. That's another catch called on the Indian side. That one was kind of close.
It was. I mean, it was on the edge. Some refs would have let that go.
Deep serve again. The volleyball gods have spoken. That ball must have been good on the Indian side. Serve out by Baldwin. Indians down by only 5 now. Set number 4.
Valente and Yates are back in the game.
We're halfway through set number 4. Deep serve by Yates. Picked up by Baldwin. Off the block of Valente and Jakovic and down. Point for the Indians.
That block was textbook. Jakovic set the block. Valente came up and sealed it. And that results in a point.
Indians down by 4, set number 4. Yates again. Overpass.
Oh!
Valente off the block. Back onto the Indian side. Herpy sends it over on 2. Around the block. Again, handcuffs the Indians player, Joe Yates. That ball drops onto the floor.
Yeah, those are tough spots.
Libero for Baldwin serving. Indians having a tough time tonight with that serve. And that's an overpass. Baldwin makes him pay for it. Yeah, their libero has a great serve, Steve, as we mentioned before.
She does. She's got a really nice knuckleball. She's a good passer. She's pretty good all-around libero. Nice angle.
Nice cross-court kill by Jakovic. Indians down by 5.
That's the only thing a right-hander can do on the weak side. They can go angle, and they can go really hard angle.
Ploskina serving. Baldwin picks it up nicely. Outside set. Around the block. Blonde has it. Ploskina back to Blonde. Blonde goes down the middle. Picked up by Baldwin. Off the block. Ploskina. Yates. Cassone. Into the net. And back down onto the Indian side.
The Indians are slowly clawing their way back up. At one point, every 2 points Baldwin was scoring, Peters was scoring 1. But now they're slowly clawing their way back. They need a good pass here to keep momentum moving.
Deep serve by Baldwin, picked up by Yates.
There it
and
is.
Valente gets the kill right down the middle.
That's it. That's another one. It's kind of like eating an elephant. You know how to eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
That is right.
Indians down by 5. They need to get a little momentum here. And just as we call it, there's an ace right down the middle by Tassone.
Yes, it's just what they need.
And that's a momentum killer right there, Steve. That ball served out.
Can't do that. If they would have kept getting them points, I think Chris Kelly would have been calling a timeout very shortly.
Yates has it. Ploskina to Blonde. Off the block, picked up by Ploskina to Yates. Back to Blonde again, who goes cross court with it. Picked up by Baldwin. Cross court Yates. Ploskina bump sets it to Valentic. Baldwin has it again. And that's a push right off the block and out of bounds. Point for Baldwin. And there's the first timeout called by head coach Ashley Green. Indians down 18-12. Set number 4. We'll be right back. And we're back from the first timeout called by head coach Ashley Green. And that's a good coaching move there, Steve. That serve goes out.
That's what you need to do. It's like icing the kicker in football right before the field goal. Call that timeout, give them an opportunity to think about it.
It's another golden rule of serving. Never miss a serve coming out of a timeout. We've had a lot of those this evening. A lot of those golden rules broken.
Yep.
Jump set. Oh, that's short and on the ground. Willott tries to make a diving save.
That was definitely sneaky right there. It was a smart play by Baldwin. They're picking on Willott. She's a freshman. She's the only starting freshman on the team this year.
It's called good court sense there.
Well, it's just a function of experience, you know. I mean, by the time she's a senior, she's probably going to be all whippeal.
Blonde gets that kill on the overpass by Baldwin. Herbie back to serve. Jakovic into the front row to hit. Outside set. Around the block. Picked up by Crookshank. To Herpy. To Blonde. Goes cross court with it. Picked up by Baldwin again. Free ball coming over. Crookshank. Perfect pass to Herpy. Back set to Jakovic. Picked up by Baldwin. Great save by Tassone to Herpy. To Blonde. Baldwin picks it up again. Around the block. Crookshank. Herpy. Tassone rolls it short. And nobody home on Baldwin's side.
It was like somebody yelled, freeze. They just stopped.
Nobody even moved. Even Coach Kelly asking the girls what they're doing. Short serve by Herpy. Outside set. And right through the block.
Apparently Baldwin said they wanted to wait until Peters served to score the point. So they just stopped.
Indians down 20-15. We're deep into set number 4 now. Again, Indians need to win this set in order to stay in the match. That was a nice kill by Blonde. That's a smart play. It hit the antenna? Didn't even see it.
Line judge called the antenna.
That's a shame. That was a nice turn down the line by Blonde. Indians down 21-15. Back set to Blonde. This time picked up by Baldwin. Free ball coming over. Herpy. Oh. I don't know what happened there, Steve.
Well, that's a tough situation. When the first ball goes to the setter, she ended up passing it right to target, and typically the libero is the person who hits the second ball when the setter gets the first one, and there was nobody there.
Indians get it back on that kill by Keene. Down 22-16. Set number 4. Blonde with a jump serve down the middle. Middle set. Blonde with the save. Crookshank with another save. Unfortunately, that ball trickles into the ref stand. Point for Baldwin. Baldwin needs only 2 points here in set number 4 to win the match. Scores 23-16. Point for Peters. Make it 23-17.
We'll see if Yates has the opportunity to score some points here and bring the Indians back into this game. They only have an opportunity for a few more tries.
Short serve by Yates, overpass. Valentic
That's one of
gets
them.
the kill.
That's one of them.
23-18.
It's just like walking. You got to put the left foot down, then the right foot, then the left foot, and just keep on going.
Yates serving again. Perfect pass by Baldwin. Back set. Picked up by Yates. Herpy tries to send it over on 2 into the net.
That was just an experience issue there. She should have put that ball up and let somebody hit it.
And there's the second and final timeout call by head coach Ashley Green for the Indians. They're down 24-18. Looking at match point here in set number 4. We'll be right back. And we're back. Looking at match point here in set number 4. 24-18 is the score. Yates to Herpy to Jakovic. Picked up by Baldwin. This could be it, folks. Off the block and down. Baldwin wins the match 3-1. They win this final set 25-18. Steve, some comments.
You know, it was a hard-fought match. They really did a good job. They got to try to minimize some of the errors, the service errors, and improve their passing a little bit. This is a good team with a lot of experience and a lot of skills. They just need to come together as a team in order to start winning some games.
Very true. They played a really good match tonight, like you were saying. It was a tough team. Head coach Chris Kelly for Baldwin has really trained his girls well. You see a lot of momentum going on there, a lot of great technical expertise on their side. The Indians lost the first set 25-21, second set 25-22. They came back to win that third set 25-22, and then lost this fourth and final set 25-18. Again, special thanks to Alex and Kate. Make sure you check out the website. I'm sure the girls would love to have you at the home games or even the away games and even the tournaments to support them. So the Indians lose here at home 3-1 on Thursday, September 27th, 2018. And so from beautiful McMurray, Pennsylvania, the Peters Township High School Gymnasium is officially closed.